Okay, it says we're live.
Saturday, for the first time in a long time, there'll be direct talks between Ambassador Witkoff and a top-level leader in Iran. We hope
Oh, it's live. Now it's
Is it
live.
is
Yeah.
it live right now?
that we're going to
We're live.
Yep.
Is it switching back and forth the way it's supposed to?
I think so. No, actually, it's not on auto, so now it is. Streaming active. Where's your camera? Oh, it is.
All right, so we're good. We are live.
Yeah, this one's on.
This is not another boring podcast. What happened to the screen? Is it switching back and forth? Is that camera off? Did one of the cameras go off?
I think so. Let me see.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah, that one's off. I'm just gonna kick it out.
Why?
I mean, I'm not gonna charge it right now.
Okay. All right.
Let me just turn this one off.
All right, that's fine.
Well, looks like it's just
Two cameras.
looks like it's just me and you.
It's just me and you. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa, through the police body cams, Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope. I want to thank Muhammad for being here. Muhammad, thank you for being on this podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's 7:20 in the morning, and we've been working on the system for the past almost over 6 hours. It is a very complicated system, but we figured it out. It's a beautiful system, and this system is so beautiful that it's video follow audio. So when Muhammad talk, the camera switches to him. When I talk, the camera switches to me. It's a beautiful system.
Yep.
There you go. This is a short video testing out the video follow audio. And it's a good introduction to tonight's podcast.
It really is. It's
yeah.
a good intro.
This system is beautiful because we're going to be able to embed the body cams and the documents and the exhibits, the evidence into the podcast. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm really excited about being able to put the body cams in the system. It's a beautiful software.
Yeah, because now you can play drums live directly into the screen, and people can see what exactly is going on. You don't have to hold your iPad to the screen. You don't have to do all that stuff. You just click a button, and drums live play directly to the people.
It is definitely annoying to hold another cell phone to the screen just to play the exhibits. And with this system, we're going to be able to point out the investigator lies in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Now, Mohammed, specifically tonight's podcast, I want to focus on a specific individual that the police department is using, that the police department is allowing to manufacture probable cause in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Specifically, I'm saying not probable cause. What I'm saying is manufacture probable cause. This individual is the neighbor who took possession of the kids when Mustafa woke up from a coma, when Mustafa was released from the hospital, when the hospital tested his toxicology and found out no alcohol, no drugs. Release Mustafa. This individual is the neighbor, Nini, a.k.a. Kim Coleman.
Tanisha Coleman. Kim
Tanisha Coleman.
Whatever you want to call her.
Now, yesterday we had a beautiful podcast, and we had another witness who is also manufacturing probable cause in the Mustafa Al-Jazari. Amy Hodson, a.k.a. on the internet. She calls herself Christine Al-Khuzai, Christine Warda 7 on TikTok. It was a beautiful podcast. It was very revealing.
She's crazy.
I mean, she is crazy.
I mean, she can't. She kept talking and talking and talking. She wouldn't stop talking. It's like, what the hell are you on about, lady?
I think she's on the wrong medication, to
Get
be
a
honest
grip.
with you.
Get a grip.
Well,
Calm down.
she sounded terrified.
She is terrified. I think she's terrified that her voice is out there. She's been lying to people about Mustafa's story. Apparently, she goes around telling people she works with the police. She works with the federal government.
I mean, on multiple occasions, she identified herself as an FBI agent.
Yeah, and we have those messages from people that reached out to us and said, "This lady, do you know this lady, Christina Warda?" and they send you a snapshot image of the message she sent them, saying that she's gonna report them to the federal government, that she's the FBI, she's investigating them. Some guy called us in the morning. Okay, he says, I don't know who this lady is. She's blowing up my phone. Okay, and then he sent us a picture of the profile. He said that she left him messages after messages after messages and telling him that the police are coming after him simply because he interacted with you on TikTok.
He's advocated for Mustafa.
He said
he said I looked at the evidence and your brother is innocent.
He saw the video. There was almost like a 3-4 hour conversation with you and him. A lot of people joined in. And then the next morning, he's like, I want nothing to do with, he's like, I don't know what the hell, I don't even know anything about this kid. I don't know anything about this guy, Mustafa. And we're like, why are you so scared? He said, some lady reached out to me. This Cristina Warda reached out to him and told him she's the federal government. She's the police. And she threatened him. If you discuss this case in public, if you talk about this person saying he's innocent, if you get close to this case, we're coming after you. That's what she's telling people.
So she
and he's not the only one.
So she either identifies herself as a federal agent or she's trolling the conversation and fabricating manufactured probable cause.
But she came in as an advocate for Mustafa. She was talking to reporters. She was emailing on his behalf. She was writing up complaints to CARE. She was writing up complaints to the senators, to the delegates. I have the emails, okay? And when the body cams got released, we find out her voice is on the body cam. And the first thing she says when you release that video, I got 50 calls and text messages. We have that audio. She said, I have 50 calls and text messages from people telling me, why is your voice all over the internet? Why is your voice all over the internet? Your body cam got released, and she was so angry that day. Remember, she was so angry.
She was very upset.
Like,
she said 50 people called her.
The police are looking for Amar and his brothers. The police are going to take him in because he released my voice on the internet. That's what she said.
And what she's essentially doing is she would call in the main investigator, Robert Drum, and says on a body cam, and this is the disturbing part about the body cam, and this is where the police department played a role in allowing individuals to manufacture probable cause. What she said is, I don't know Mustafa. I don't know his girlfriend, Dorothy. And then she began to paint Mustafa as a monster. I mean, this is not a witness. It's hearsay at that point.
Look, the fact that yesterday you said, prove to everybody that's watching right now, prove to everybody you're not who we're saying you are. Turn on your camera. All it takes is less than 5 seconds. You click on it.
She wouldn't do it.
I mean, we're on camera.
You're
on camera.
Not do it.
Okay. A lot of people that you questioned simply turned on their camera and said, here I am. I'm advocating for Mustafa. And she wouldn't do it. But we have her picture, by the way. We have her picture. That's Amy Hodson.
We have her picture.
There's no running away from it. Okay. And what's so significant about this witness, I mean, usually people say, don't talk to witnesses. Don't call this person. No. She's the one that reached out to you.
This is her picture, by the way.
You know,
this is,
look,
if I can have the camera on me, this is Amy Hodson, a.k.a. Christine Al-Khuzai on TikTok, Christine Warda 7. That's her. That's Amy Hodson.
For anybody to say, like yesterday, she says, I'm going to call the prosecutor and I'm going to call the prosecutor and tell her you're harassing me. Lady, we have messages from you on Facebook. We have calls and text messages and emails where you're advocating for Mustafa. You are advocating for Mustafa. You actually called Mustafa's mother and told her, why isn't Amar picking up my phones? She wants to be on the phone while Amar is sleeping. She wants to hear his breath. And now you want to act like...
you know what's really funny?
Now you want to act like I'm going to call the prosecutor because you're harassing me?
You know what's really interesting is that she posted your daughter's picture, your 40-year-old daughter, and all over the internet. She posted pictures from Mustafa's cell phone. I mean, Elaine Jarvis, the defense attorney that filed a civil lawsuit in federal court, the Commonwealth attorney gave her the cell phone dump, Mustafa's cell phone dump. And now what the attorney did, Elaine Jarvis, gave it to the wife of the investigator. And now you have a situation where the wife of the investigator who's on a body cam who does not work for the police department. Now, that's a lot to unpack. She's on a body cam, the wife of the investigator, who does not work for the police department. Elaine Jarvis, the defense attorney, gave the cell phone dump to the wife of the investigator, who's given it to Amy Hodson, who's blackmailing this family by posting your 4-year-old daughter and my mother's picture, who my mother wears a hijab, a scarf. We're Muslim, but she's posting personal picture from Mustafa's cell phone, blackmailing this family, attempting to have...
attempting to blackmail. She thinks like she can silence us. We're going to go into hiding.
Don't talk
because-
about Mustafa. Don't advocate for Mustafa, or I'll post your 4-year-old daughter. I'll post...
By the way, that's what she does to people. Like this is what I've noticed. People that have reached out to you have reached out to me. This is what they say. She comes in nice. She gets people comfortable to a point where she gets personal information from them. Like, for example, somebody's arguing with his wife. Somebody's cheating on his wife. Somebody's doing something, something they're not supposed to be doing. They get comfortable and they tell her that information. And then she turns around and blackmails them. She says, I want you to say something negative about this man in Virginia. His name is Mustafa Al-Jazari. And if you don't say what I want you to say, I'm going to blackmail you. I'm going to call your wife. I'm going to post your pictures. She's going to post the conversation. Whatever that person entrusted her with, she's going to turn around and blackmail them.
Now, Mohammed, what I want to do, I want to dial back and I want to end this podcast on what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is the neighbor, Nini, a.k.a. Kim Coleman, Tanisha Coleman. Now, we have Tanisha Coleman's body cams when she talked to Investigator Drum. We have a phone call where she talked to my mom 2 days after she talked to Investigator Drum. Now, what's disturbing about the body cams and the phone call, that on a body cam, she told Investigator Drum, she began to describe Mustafa as a monster. And specifically, she tells Investigator Drum that Mustafa's girlfriend and told her that Mustafa had peed on her and insinuating that Mustafa is abusive. Now, this neighbor, Nini, is telling the investigator this on a body cam, and she took possession of the kids.
She's telling the children the same thing.
She's telling the children the same thing.
Now you say, how do you know the children said that? Well, we have their forensic interview. And when the forensic investigator is asking them, how do you know? You claim that Mustafa Moses peed on your mom. How do you know this information? They say, Nini told us. They
Nini.
flat out say it. Nini
Nini.
told us. So Nini's actively coaching these children.
Weaponizing these kids.
Weaponizing these kids. And, another thing, I'll say something that's really disturbing is that Robert Drum spoke to Nini, Tanisha Coleman, Kim Coleman, whatever you want to call her. Okay, he spoke to her, I think 2 hours after Mustafa and we left the apartment. Probably 2 hours after. And immediately right after, she went and told these lies. Now, I have a video that I recorded from being at the apartment complex that night. And the video does not match what she told Investigator Drum. She's telling him that Mustafa threw these kids on me, but that's not what my video shows. She tells us, don't call the police. Don't call the police. They're going to separate them. CPS is going to come in and separate these kids. Don't call the police. But she's telling Drum something else.
I mean, you have a recording where Mustafa sat with Nini, and a recording where Mustafa sat with Nini, and his priority is to make sure that 5-year-old Empress is okay. He's calling the hospital with Nini. The hospital would not update him, would not tell him anything. I mean, Mustafa sat there to make sure, and his priority is the kids. Now, I find it disturbing that Nini, on that body cam, never told Investigator Drum that Mustafa was there and his priority is the chicks or the kids, or even called the hospital.
Well, I'll tell you something. There are hospital notes, actually, and the hospital notes confirm that Mustafa did call the hospital, and the nurse herself put those notes in that Mustafa called in asking about Empress's well-being, and that he wanted to be with her. And the hospital strictly told him, no, you're not related to Empress. We're not going to let you see her.
But they'll let the ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford,
but they'll
who's
let Glenn Ford-
lying about Mustafa, and we have evidence that he is lying.
Glenn Ford, who, by the way, conspired to kill Mustafa with Kylie Clapp.
We have a recording where he admit to Kylie coming up to him and ask him to murder Mustafa.
Anyways, we can go on and on forever. We're going to save it for tonight. Amar,
Now,
you can go ahead and...
before I end the podcast, we have those body cams, and I have a phone call that after Kim Coleman painted Mustafa as a monster, told the kids Mustafa is a monster, that your mother told me that he peed on you. She told that to the investigator, and she told the kids. And I remind you, those are a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old that just found out that they've lost their mother in a tragic vehicle accident. And we have evidence that this is a vehicle accident. We have a dash camera. We have every piece of
the
evidence.
data recorder,
The data recorder, the
skid
computer.
marks on the road, the investigator himself saying this was an accident.
So she's telling the investigator she's weaponizing the kids. But then 2 days later, I have a phone call that she's talking to my mother, and she tells my mom that Mustafa loved the kids, took care of the kids, loved Dorothy. And she described Mustafa as the best thing that ever happened to the kids. Now, what she does, and then she says, that's what I saw. Mustafa is a wonderful human being. But you should talk to 14-year-old Jaden. Wait a minute. Are we talking about the same Jaden that you weaponized by telling him that his mother came up to you and peed on him on her? So she tells a 14-year-old that just lost his mother that your mom told her that Mustafa peed on her. You have investigators that sat with the kids. According to Jaden himself, in a forensic interview, he said, the police told me this and this and that. I mean, at one point, Jaden says, I loved Mustafa. Mom always told me to love Mustafa. But the police, he said, investigators told me that Mustafa ran away, left my 5-year-old baby sister in the car, and if he hadn't run away, they could have saved my 5-year-old sister. That's what the investigators tell him. That's according to Jaden in a video forensic interview. So, by the way, we know that's a lie because Mustafa was in a coma. Mustafa was helicoptered to the hospital. Mustafa was, he woke up from a coma. They tested his toxicology. They found no alcohol, no drugs. And then the police in the hospital released Mustafa. So we know the investigator lied and weaponized those kids. Is Nini telling mom to talk to that 14-year-old who she weaponized with the police department? We have a recording. And this is a portion, and we'll play the whole entire thing on tonight's podcast. I'm just going to play, 1 minute from it really quick?
No.
We'll play it tonight?
Yeah.
The reason I'm talking about this, because Amy Hodson, the individual that we had on a podcast yesterday, she gets on the internet for the past 2 years, and that's the first thing she tells people. You should read the discovery and what Nini, a.k.a. Kim Coleman, the neighbor, is saying about Mustafa. That his girlfriend came up to her and said that Mustafa had peed on her.
But by the way,
the way she lied to people, we have evidence that Kim Coleman is lying about Mustafa.
We have evidence that what you just described is tampering with witnesses. That's what the police said. They're tampering with witnesses. Clearly, they're tampering with. I mean, we have not. This is not the first witness that they've tampered with. There's other witnesses from the scene that said they saw skid marks. They heard Mustafa's skid marks. They saw him pressing the brakes. He wasn't driving erratic. All that information was excluded from any of the police or witness statements. I mean, that's actively tampering with witnesses. Now, with regards to Tanisha Coleman, we have videos of her saying, don't call the cops. Don't call the police. Okay? We spent a whole hour outside the apartment complex trying to figure out what's going on with Empress. With her being there, saying that she was saying, tell the hospital that I have the cousin here. I'm her cousin. You know what's really interesting with Tanisha Coleman is that she tells the police and she tells mom that I've only known Mustafa and Dorothy for 3 weeks, yet you've been living at that apartment complex for over 2-3 years. I mean, think about it. She's been there for over 2 years. Glenn Ford's been there for over a year. And Dorothy lived with him. He says on TikTok, we have the audio. He says, I've known Tanisha, I've known Kim for a long time. She's like a sister to me.
We have those recordings.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. He's saying that Kim Coleman is like a sister to him. That's how long he's known her. That his kid plays with her kids. You're telling me that Dorothy lived with you for an entire year in 2023. She lived the entire, not 2023, 2022. So 2022, she lived an entire year in his apartment with all those kids. And you're telling me Kim Coleman never came over, never said hello, never said, hey, buddy, who's the girl living with you with all these kids? You're saying that never happened? But the real question is, why would Glenn Ford, why would Kim Coleman lie to the police about the duration of their relationship, the extent of their relationship?
Well, I'll tell you, they're attempting to come off to the police department as independent witnesses. Well, they collaborate a story. They collaborate what they're going to lie to the police.
They wanted to come off like separate sources coming in with the same information. So Kim Coleman tells Robert Drum, I've only known Dorothy for 3 weeks, and that's what I saw with Moses, with Mustafa. And then Glenn Ford says, I don't know him, but this is what I've heard of him. This is what Dorothy told me about him. And then you get a third call from an Amy Hodson, who lives 3 hours away in Locust Grove. And somehow she's heard of Moses, Mustafa, the bad person, this horrible human being. And then Kylie comes out and she says, my dad made me come here. But Moses is a really bad person. And I recorded a video of Empress a month ago to say that Moses is hurting me.
Are we talking about the same Kylie that's connected to a club owner that had a major problem with Mustafa? 1 month before Mustafa met Dorothy, Mustafa's relationship is 3 months long.
The same Kylie
Are we talking about this guy?
The same Kylie that asked
this guy, if you switch the camera.
I think it went out.
It went out.
Well, anyways, look, just
my
wrap
camera
it up.
out?
Wrap it up.
On that note, the battery for the cell phone just died. Thank you for being on this podcast. Is the camera on? There we go. And the camera is back. Thank you for tonight. Is going to be a very interesting podcast, and the focus is the neighbor, Kim Coleman, Tanisha Coleman, and we have home Google videos from the apartment that shows it's a beautiful relationship inside the house. We have an audio conversation, and we have body cams, and tonight is going to be a beautiful, beautiful podcast. Thank you for being on this podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope. Bustos, I love you, ma'am. You're upgrading this whole entire platform. It is a lot of money. Bustos are beautiful, beautiful Bustos. Upgraded our equipment, this podcast, and this equipment is $2,000. It's going to transform this whole entire platform. Julie Carey does not want to cover the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Is protecting the police department who lied in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Well, the community is here and is giving us equipment that's going to take this whole entire to the next level. Take this whole entire case to the next level. And the community will hear what Prince William County Police Department, under the watch of Chief of Police Peter Newsham, is doing. What Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is doing in the Mustafa Al-Jazari. Thank you for being here. This is not another boring podcast.